Dear students, I am Dr. Daud and today we will discuss a life-saving procedure usually done in emergency cases called tracheostomy. First of all, let us discuss different procedures for immediate airway management. First of all is the jaw thrust. It is actually lifting the jaw forward and extending the neck, which improves the airway by displacing the soft tissues. Second is oropharyngeal airway. It actually displaces the tongue anteriorly and releases soft tissue obstruction, and ventilation can be carried out by face mask placed over the face and covering both the nose and mouth. The third is nasopharyngeal airway. It is inserted transnasally into the posterior hypopharynx and it relieves the soft tissue obstruction caused by the tongue and the pharynx. Fourth is laryngeal mask airway. It is a device with a tube and a triangular distal end which fits over the laryngeal inlet, and oxygen can be delivered directly into the trachea. Next is endotracheal intubation. It is the most rapid method to improve the airway. Larynx is visualized with a laryngoscope and endotracheal tube or a bronchoscope is inserted, and no anesthesia is required. This usually helps to avoid a hurried tracheostomy in which complication rate is higher. Next is cricothyroidotomy. It is also an emergency procedure in which an opening in the airway is made through cricothyroid membrane. It is actually a mini tracheostomy and it is an emergency procedure to buy time to allow the patient to be carried to the operation theatre so that tracheostomy can be done later on. And the last is emergency tracheostomy. There are three suffixes which is used. If the suffix otomy is used at the end of word, it means that to make an opening in a body cavity. And if ostomy is used, the word ostomy means to make a hole or an opening in a body cavity and bring that hole to the surface of skin. The examples of otomy are tympanotomy or laparotomy, and examples of ostomy are tracheostomy, ileostomy or jejunostomy. And what is ectomy? Ectomy means to cut and remove a certain body part from the body. The word tracheostomy is derived from the Latin trachea, and to main is to make an opening. Tracheostomy is an operative procedure that creates a surgical airway in the cervical trachea. Several major blood vessels are present in the neck, like carotids, which are present just below the anterior border of the sternocleidomastoid and also the jugular vein. The thyroid gland is present in front of the trachea, especially it's the isthmus of the thyroid gland. Esophagus is present behind the trachea and the larynx is present above the trachea. The nerve, recurrent laryngeal nerve, is also very important because it supplies the vocal cords, and the injury to this nerve can cause the change in the voice or the hoarseness of voice, and it runs in the tracheo-esophageal groove. And then is the cervical spine, which is present behind the esophagus. You can see in this picture, this is the larynx, in front is the thyroid cartilage, below is the trachea, and behind the trachea is the esophagus, and behind the esophagus is the cervical spine. This is the tracheostomy tube inserted into the trachea. And what are the indications of tracheostomy? First of all is to bypass respiratory obstruction. Respiratory obstruction can be caused by tumors of the oropharynx, larynx and the upper trachea, by the various infections like epiglottitis, severe tracheobronchitis, in which there is edema of the larynx and the patient is unable to breathe. Then the bilateral vocal cord paralysis, in which vocal cords come in the midline and there is no airway for the patient. Then in several traumatic injuries like laryngeal and maxillofacial fractures, in edema of the tongue, laryngopharynx, in the cases where endotracheal intubation fails, in cases where there is foreign body obstruction at the level of larynx, and the upper trachea, and then the subglottic or the tracheal stenosis. Next is retained secretions. If there is need for prolonged respiratory support, then tracheostomy should be done. Another indication is to reduce the anatomic dead space and increase the chances for mechanical ventilation withdrawal. Another indication is various diseases like neuromuscular, paralyzing or weakening the chest muscles and the diaphragm, and the aspiration of pharyngeal secretions. Several other indications include congenital anomalies like tracheomalacia, subglottic or glottic stenosis, craniofacial abnormalities, in the cases of obstructive sleep apnea syndrome, in aspirations related to the muscle or sensory problems, as a prophylaxis, for example as a preparation for extensive head and neck procedures, or in cases before radiotherapy for head and neck tumors, and also in cervical spine injuries with respiratory muscle paralysis. What are the advantages of tracheostomy over endotracheal intubation? It is less irritant for the nose, mouth and throat, and the nasal tube carries a high risk of incurring sinusitis. By the tracheostomy, the cleaning of the mouth becomes much easier as compared to the endotracheal intubation. And in tracheostomy, patient is more able to cough up mucus as the airway distance is shorter. By tracheostomy, patient can be able to speak via a speaking valve, and when awake and if the patient can swallow, he may eat and drink. There are a few disadvantages of the tracheostomy, like irritation or pain in the neck, a scar which remains visible on the neck even after decannulation, and possible complications. What is the preoperative workup? First of all, the physical assessment of the patient is necessary, and also the surgical and assessment by the anesthesiologist. Then CBC and PT, APTT and the INR. There are two surgical techniques. First is the open technique and the other is percutaneous procedure. In open technique, it can be done via a horizontal incision or a vertical incision. The horizontal incision is usually made about 2 finger breadth above the suprasternal notch, and then after retracting the skin and the soft tissue and strap muscles, the vein you encounter is the anterior jugular vein. You divide this and then this is the isthmus of the thyroid gland. After dividing the isthmus of the thyroid gland, this is the anterior wall of the trachea. Usually do tracheostomy avoiding the first tracheal ring. That is, you should do in the second, third or the fourth tracheal ring. Why you should avoid the first tracheal ring? Because the injury to the first tracheal ring can cause perichondritis and the ultimate subglottic stenosis. This is an incision is made in the trachea. So once the incision is made in the trachea, this is called tracheotomy, where you have to make a hole in the trachea. So this is the hole in the trachea, and after inserting the tube, so you have converted this hole into an ostomy. Then the then the percutaneous procedure. In percutaneous procedure, you actually do under a fiber optic visualization and with the help of a guide wire. This is a cannula which is inserted in the trachea. This is a guide wire, and there are certain dilators with the help of which you dilate it, and then over it you insert a tube, a tracheostomy tube. The percutaneous procedure is usually done in the ICU, where the patient is already intubated and being monitored, and it is also done under sedation. So percutaneous procedure is usually done in carefully selected patients and under fiber optic control, and you should be ready to switch to the open procedure if it fails. What are the risk factors for the complications of tracheostomy? If the patient is infant or adult over 75 years of age, if the patient is obese, if the patient was smoker, there is poor nutrition, if the patient has recent illness, especially an upper respiratory tract infection, alcoholism, chronic illness, and diabetes. So all these patients carry high risk for complications. Complication rate in children is up to 70%, in adults up to 66%, and tracheotomy related deaths are 2 to 3% overall. What are the complications? Immediate complications include apnea. It is due to the loss of hypoxic respiratory drive. This is mainly important in awake patient, and ventilatory support must be available, and in these patients actually the carbogen should be inhaled. Then the bleeding, then the pneumothorax or the pneumomediastinum. In apnea, what is the carbogen? It is actually to administer 5% carbon dioxide in oxygen or assisted ventilation. Other complications include damage to the vocal cords, injury to the adjacent structures like recurrent laryngeal nerve, the greater vessels, and the esophagus, post-obstructive pulmonary edema, hypertension, arrhythmias. All these are immediate complications. The early complications include early bleeding. This is usually the result of increased blood pressure as the patient emerges from anesthesia and begin to cough. Then tracheostomy tube can be plugged with mucus. Then tracheitis, cellulitis, tube displacement, subcutaneous emphysema, atelectasis. All these are early complications of tracheostomy. What are the late complications? Include the bleeding, compression of the innominate artery and the tracheo-innominate fistula, then tracheo and the tracheomalacia, stenosis of the trachea and subglottic stenosis if you have injured the first tracheal ring during tracheostomy, tracheoesophageal fistula, tracheocutaneous fistula, granulation, scarring, and the failure to decannulate. All these are late complications of tracheostomy. Tracheostomy care is very important. You should never do suction very aggressively, and you should not do too deep. Skin care is important to prevent irritation and the secondary inflammation due to discharge, and the inner tube care is also very important. Once or more daily removal and cleanliness is important. This is the method by which the suction of the tracheostomy tube should be done. You should not do too deep and with too force. Tracheostomy care include humidification. Actually, one of the major function of the nose is to humidify the inspired air. Once you have done the tracheostomy, this function is actually lost. So you should cover the tracheostomy with the help of a soaked gauze piece, or several humidifiers are also available, so that the air which is going inside the trachea is not should not be that much dry. Otherwise it will cause more crusting. Then the tube size and tube position is also very important according to the patient. You should not cover the tracheostomy with a blanket, and you should pay attention on the patient's beard and the chin position. Several types of tracheostomy tubes are available. These are the cuffless tubes, these are the cuff tubes. Metallic tubes are also available, and there are several tubes with inner cannula also. Can the patient be able to speak with tracheostomy? Yes, it is possible with the help of a tracheostomy having a speaking valve here. And there are several valves are available, especially for those patients who cannot close the tracheostomy with the help of finger. For example, in those patients who are mechanically dependent or having quadriplegia. When you should do decannulation? Decannulation is actually the removal of tracheostomy tube. These are the several criteria. First is when the primary pathology has been resolved, that is resolution of the pathology that necessitated the tracheostomy. Next is you should always think of the decannulation when there is normal protective laryngeal mechanisms, like there is no aspiration during normal swallowing, and the patient can have should have good coughing. If there is no planned further interventions like radiotherapy and head and neck operations, and if there is no mechanical ventilation is required, then you can consider decannulation of the tracheostomy. Thank you.